Games that define 2014, a G1 collaborative project, Titanfall. When one thinks of Xbox One launch lineup titles that were hyped for the initial release of the console, no game was more front and center in all of the marketing than the Juggernaut from Respawn, and that game was Titanfall. By now you know the story. Jason West and Vince Zampella and the rest of the Infinity Ward team had just shipped the original Modern Warfare, and it only started shortly after launch that rumors started to circulate they were trying to pitch a sci-fi shooter as their next game. Well, before you know it, they were both unceremoniously fired from Activision, and they pulled themselves up by their bootstraps and founded a new studio that they would go on to call Respawn Entertainment. At first glance, it was very easy to write off this title as a COD in the future, but hardcore parkour and giant effing robots shoots that argument full of holes. Now, how in blue blazes does a game like this help define games in 2014? The hype machine and the debatable subject whether it lived up to it or not. Right off the bat, a metric ton of customization options goes beyond the run-of-the-mill created class. You can choose your appearance, male and female, individual weapon loadouts with attachments for each weapon, and they have unlocks as well. And the Titans and the pilots have their atypical shotguns and rifles to more unique weapons like the arc grenade and the smart pistol. The smart pistol is a personal favorite of mine. It locks onto anything within its reticle, and all you have to do is pull the trigger and watch the targets fall. But don't think it's an instant win. Robotic specters from the opposing force take 2 locks to drop, and an enemy player takes 3. As the targets get bigger, the stakes get higher. But if you are skilled, 1, 2, 3, that's all you need. Perks in a way make a slight return in the form of something called burn cards that give you temporary boosts per round, something as giving you an overpowered weapon or being able to start the round with a Titan instantly. But they're only good for 1 life, so use them wisely. Oh yeah, and the Titans, they get them as well. The multiplayer options are wide and varied, so you'll definitely find something that suits your tastes. Whether it be Team Deathmatch, Last Titan Standing, or Pilot Hunter, something for everyone is there. Typically each round starts with you disembarking from your dropship and you hit the ground running. From there you mow through enemy players and AI-controlled batteries from the opposing force to accrue points that allow you to call down your Titan. Taking out players from the opposing force are worth far more, so it behooves you to seek them out and eliminate them, as of course, they're the real threat, and worth more on the scoreboard. It kinda sounds similar to a MOBA, doesn't it? An FPS MOBA? Perhaps I'm reading too far into it, but I digress. So this game certainly took the whole online multiplayer experience and turned it on its head. But you remember when Star Wars Battlefront 2 came out and you got to be a Jedi or a Sith for a short period of time to turn the tide of battle? The main difference here is everyone gets a Titan and everyone gets to summon one through the course of the battle, thus ensuring a complete experience every time. You spawn on the map with a countdown timer, and completing objectives or eliminating members of the opposition reduces this cooldown. And quite possibly my favorite thing about the Titans is that there are no one-shot kills. That's almost impossible to happen against a Titan. Even a fully charged shot from the railgun doesn't kill you either, and the onboard AI lets you know that multiple targets are moving against you, thus increasing survivability. This game certainly rewards skill, but it also even gives beginners a chance to summon a Titan and cause some havoc. And it never gets old when you hear Spyglass say,
"Command authentication. Stand by for Titanfall."
Probably the biggest surprise for the players was when the match was over, it wasn't over. The epilogue is a post-game session about a minute long where the winning team gets to add insult to injury by wiping out the opposition who are all in their last life. If you really want to stick it to them, you can take out their dropship and give them no chance to escape. If you're on the flip side and you're losing, you really want to make the victory ring hollow for the opposition, successfully board the dropship and make good on your escape. Regardless of the side, winning or losing, the adrenaline rush is absolutely incredible. And nothing is more satisfying than escaping with an entire full team. So did this game meet the hype? Depends on who you ask. To me personally, exceeded my expectations for the multiplayer component, though I do have to admit some months after launch I did wish there was a single player game. So many great set piece moments could have been had a la the Modern Warfare games. And strangely, I did find myself getting attached to my Titan and a certain sense of calm whenever he would scoop me up and place me safely into the cockpit. That being said, why does it seem like no one talks about it anymore? Was it because it was released in March, a traditionally quiet month for games, as opposed to the hyper-competitive fall? Or was it because the Origin version was plagued by connection issues at launch? Or was it the fact the 360 version was released almost a month later, giving those players the cold shoulder? Or was it the in-your-face multiplayer only that hurted its mass adoption? Whatever the reason, the online community is far from dead, and matches can be found with ease. Lag-free and nearly devoid of all cheats, which is a hard thing to do this day and age with people loving to ruin other people's fun. And if you're thinking about getting it on the 360, don't worry! It ended up being a fantastic port, so don't feel like you're gonna get a gimped experience. The game has frequently gone on sale digitally on all platforms it has been released on, and that includes the Season Pass DLC for $12 or less as of late, so give it a whirl and see why for yourself it was one of the games, for better or for worse, that helped define 2014 for gaming. Hardcore parkour, giant robots,
All right, we got what we came for.
smart pistol, Titanfall.